Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more Katawa Shoujo. Last time we learned a bit more about Emi's past, the fact that she lost her legs in a car accident that presumably killed her father as well, and that she can sometimes push herself too hard and risk getting an infection from her prosthetics. So, yeah, there was that. A lot of flirtatiousness happening with her. But yeah, the morning runs have become a thing, so we are going to pick up from where we left off, which I believe we are now headed to class. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Oh, a time skip. Emi is kindly designed to give me weekends off from our morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of the bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emi wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I'd been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Oh, trust me, there definitely is. If you use like a classic alarm, well, not a classic alarm, but a lot of people use like iPhone alarms and stuff like that. If you use like an alarm clock, it is so terrifying to hear that in the morning. It is the most unpleasant thing to wake up to. Not that I could skip out now. As Emi said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm well equipped enough to deal with a disappointed Emi. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly. So don't forget, okay? Crap, Emi's track meet. Oh, I'd better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so I soon found myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You almost feel unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn there's even a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't even here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a sort of bitter comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college, but there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course. I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emi money now. Why's that? I didn't think he'd show up. Emi did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on almost empty bleach. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I presume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was even down there. The woman laughs, again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Mako Ibarazaki, Emi's mother. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emi. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emi's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Miss Ibarazaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emi's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's not good. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this statement. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it really is up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emi's mother bursts into laughter again. You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in the situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So, this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question, that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an older woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly Emi gets her youthfulness from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. Well, all these other girls look normal, right? I don't see any different with her, nothing with her, nothing with her, nothing with her. She doesn't have a hand, but that's about it. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before... Isn't 400 meters a full... I think that's a full lap. My eyes scan the runners before finding Demi. She's smiling, with almost a cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emi explodes off the blocks, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emi surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since the final burst of speed from Emi leaves them at least a half second behind. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emi bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten a lot faster since the last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emi's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emi striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emi's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emi can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emi doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's a 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Yeah, back when I did track, I did the 100 and relays for practically all my meets. Because, once again, I have bad stamina, as I mentioned last episode. So, you know, I really have, like, an initial burst of speed, and then I lose it in, like, a fucking second. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emi flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emi's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. But your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting.
But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport.
I don't follow.
Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can. See?
She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets into the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get their set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and what could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for me. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Missy Burazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned it earlier. That's not surprising, considering. They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. Huh. Maybe a boyfriend of sorts? I'll admit that I zoned out for a while. I almost didn't notice that the relays were about to begin. But when I did look, I couldn't find Emmy. I thought Emmy would be running the relay.
She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet.
Ah.
Did you see it?
Huh?
Emmy at her Emmyest.
Maybe.
Maybe this time.
The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's definitely a stumble. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second.
Emmy.
Did she hurt herself, you think?
You noticed it too? It must be bad.
She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again.
Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch.
That's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs.
At least we tried.
Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all, but hey, whatever. Emmy's surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess we can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing even if she did have arms. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me. Us.
Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but he saw didn't find one.
Hey, neither did you.
It wasn't my job to look.
When are we gonna sign jobs?
When I said see if you can find a laurel branch, try to keep up.
I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emi laughs at Rin and me.
It's okay.
Ugh, fuck, that was horrible.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good. So how'd I look?
I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing, and settled for a substantially safe or very impressive. Emi seems pleased with his assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems that it would take away from her effort somehow.
Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did good. But I guess I did fine, huh?
Actually, I noticed Rin kicked me and kept me from finishing my sentence.
What was that all about? He noticed it at the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later.
There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch in her face. Like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow, too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder.
Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running is all. And come on, a little pain is gonna stop me.
Oh no? Emi grins, and for a moment, she looks like she did during her first sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Or, to put it another way, really beautiful.
Hasn't yet.
Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh?
Damn right. I'm Emi Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything.
Impressive. Emi giggles and then seems to remember something.
Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are gonna go do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all this stuff to take care of. Plus, our morning run, of course.
Right, of course. Oh, right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over.
She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. The breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word I throw it around her shoulders. Emi jumps slightly, and then grins at me.
Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess.
Yeah, looked like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emi my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emi, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony.
Oh yeah, thanks.
She turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to end up late, Hasao.
Hasao?
Hisao? Morning run tomorrow. Don't forget.
How could I?
Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all.
With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up.
You're probably not getting that coat back, I think.
I'm sure I'll get it back eventually.
Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emi-ish.
With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big a deal? Emi was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emi never remembers to return it. I guess Ren has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emi-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Alright. Well, this was certainly a shorter episode compared to yesterday, but some good stuff. So yeah, so that was essentially confirmed. Okay, we're getting right back into it. Let me save here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it off with just a bit of a shorter episode today. But yeah, we are really starting to learn a lot about Emi. Now, I'm not sure what kind of paths this game has. or if this specific act is like dedicated to Emmy, or what. So I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. If it's a sort of thing where, oh, you can, there's specific routes, or, each act kind of focuses on a certain girl. I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work out in the end. But yeah, we learned a lot about her. Basically, our theory from last episode of her dad having died in an accident, I think at this point is pretty much confirmed. And we've also gotten to meet her mother, who maybe has some sort of boyfriend. But yeah, and then Emmy seems to have injured herself, But, she definitely does seem like the type of person to not really own up to that fact. Sort of whatever, So what, I scraped my the stub a little. That's not going to stop me from running, sort of thing. So that's definitely probably going to cause some worry later on. But yeah, that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like on the video. That'd be awesome. And if you enjoy this series or any other series or videos on my channel, that'd be awesome if you could hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one.